Hello, everyone, and welcome. Usually around Samhain slash Halloween slash Day of the Dead, I make a fun tarot reading where I channel a spirit, an ancestor, a deceased relative, and like a pick a card. But however, this year, that would be so very inappropriate because on the other side of the whale, the things are anything but smiley and funny. And on the other hand, it is not really necessary this year. And let me explain a little bit why. So, in this recording, I intend, instead of the pick a card reading, to channel Hekate. Um, and before I explain why Hekate, uh, of course, I need to just say a tiny little bit of the astrology that is going on, where we have Neptune in the last degrees, right now 27 of Pisces. Saturn is also in Pisces. This is the last time before their meeting takes place at the end degrees of Pisces and the beginning degrees of Aries. So next year and the year after, that's big in the spirit world. That's big and so karmically very, very big. If I'm not mistaken, the last time Neptune and Saturn met was in 89 in Capricorn. How greatly the world has changed and how greatly their meeting has changed so much around the world. Capricorn, after all, was our backbone. So, yes. And now it's gonna take place, well, on one hand, at the very end degrees of Pisces, and that is what we are focusing on. That's a big karmic elimination. Certain things need to come to an end in our collective unconscious. So this is like healing collective traumas and collective past for real, as in a for real, meaning that we are in it, living it. Like it or not, this is what's happening. And we see the manifestations of this trauma out there. And this is where we get to Hecate. Hecate is a deity or entity or spiritess, call her however you want, who is linked to the underworld, who is linked to the other side, who is linked directly to beyond the veil. She guides spirits, she guides souls. She is like a midwife to souls, an eternal devoted helper. So much so that it is not only just small, oh, or maybe this is so inappropriate for me to use these words, the little guys that she helps, but it is Persephone, the very queen of the underworld, who was under her direct care, guidance, nurture, protection, consolidation. So Hecate played a very important role in the peace, harmony, and non-discrimination over there in spirit. So you can imagine the benevolence she has in her, where, for example, according to myth, when the war of the gods against Titans broke out, as in the war itself, she tried maximally to stay neutral. She really didn't want to take, like a Red Cross worker would, like a humanitarian worker would. But she was ultimately forced by circumstance to defend. I'm not 100% sure which god or deity against the Titans, so indirectly, maybe she, you know, lent a greater hand to, Olympus. However, her neutrality represents that she's really there for the souls and not for the game of all regard of the cosmic game, the game of the gods, the game of chaos, no, she's just there for the souls, as in she taught Persephone. She was a force of compassion long before, let's say, Christ. But with this, I'm not I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying that compassion was eternally present in our world. So it is not a new. Anyway, I can trust her guidance. So, amongst many things that she shared with me, was that right now, as we speak, until the uh, earlier mentioned planets finish their dance in a, you know, cyclic way, we literally are our ancestors. This is where Day of the Dead, right? Samhain. Samhain is one of her greatest rites when she is celebrated by sorcerers, magicians, mystics all around the world, including myself, of course. So, invoking the ancestors and being kind to those who work to give us this world and etc. What we do at the Day of the Dead is very, very powerful this year, because this is when the Pisces is eliminating. This is when things are coming to a closure, which means that the ancestors need to be almost literally alive within us, through us, genetically speaking, or however, because this is when we are united. This is when time is not its classical self. I'm sorry. So that means that they're really here in us, within us. We are them, they are us. And again, we see this play out on the world stage where it's almost like time hasn't passed at all. It's almost like it's not modern people living out certain things. It's almost like a time capsule where, as in ghosts, in reenacting their trauma, passing to others their trauma, the living phantasm, or how you call that. It is scary to see how unreal time is, how truly we are our ancestors. So it's just the theme, how it's playing out all over the world. Let me just give you an example. In the United States, where discriminatory but gravely discriminatory and racist, like, I'm really not into politics, and I'm really not the one to judge. Every person is very free to uh, have preferences and opinions and what they are attracted to and what they repulsed by. However, you can't put it on a pedestal. You can just ask for respect, but you can't put it on a pedestal. No matter how non-judgmental one is, you cannot put certain low-frequency emotions on a pedestal, because then it's the physics of consciousness. You're self-destructing, mass psychologically. That's like a cancer that will only grow. So you can't put this on a pedestal, and it's happening. So they're their ancestors, right? Literally. It's ghosts are enacting their obsessions through the living. So not all ancestors are very wise and benevolent and loving, and some are trapped in the ideology. The ideology became their hell, literally, and they're living it. So of course, this part is outside our hands, and this part is not the guidance. This is just a reflection of how close the other side is and how literally we are our ancestors. The other side of it, which is what we are living very intensely, is within our families, the big karmic closures. I can say this almost with a blind certainty that everyone who listens to this recording is probably one of the souls who closes a big generational theme. They are how should I say, the janitors of all of their family amongst many other things they came into this incarnation and timeline for. This is one of the must-do tasks. You must be the part of the cleanup. Each and every one with their own cleanup, with their own stories, what they have to put an end to, what they have to begin, however, right? But the ancestors, right, are aiding because everyone wants to put an end to not so nice things and things not to be proud of. So it's so intense. These years, very, very intense. So Hekate being a a deity who is there for the souls, for the love of the souls, for the love of the easy, beautiful, actually, passage, the sanctity of the passage. She's there for that. The balance over there. So her benevolence is truly worthy to be channeled. So this is where I just want to pass on the word to her through my cards, and I use this deck especially for her, always for me personally. So any guidance that she can give us at these very interesting times, right? Especially that karma is playing out so heavily. And tomorrow, sorry, not tomorrow, on the 1st of November, we have a Scorpio new moon. So there it is. The whale briefly appears. So any guidance that she wishes to give. We have the Two of Coins reversed. Ace of Swords. The Sun reversed. Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay, Wheel of Fortune and Six of Wands. So what she is saying is that the Two of Pentacles reversed. This is the moment when, and of course, her message is more of an esoteric nature of magical theory or alchemy, right? Because that's what she does. That's her speciality. So, yeah, this was just like a small note. Usually, as above, so below, right? Heaven and earth, the information, the light that has to reach us before it becomes matter. In every such cycle, because I too can mean every 200 years, which makes sense in the way the Great Conjunction cycles, which terminated in Earth, right? In December 2020. So now we're in air. So Two of Coins reversed. Two of Pentacles reversed, right? So the butterfly is purely air now. It doesn't even remember its earthly, the caterpillar cocoon shell. So this is where what she's saying, that right now our thoughts are the mental sphere, right? Is the primary recipient of the above. Right now, the above does not need to go very deep into our instinctual selves, right? It can, it is more than enough to reach the mental sphere, and it already exists, the internet, right? So this, we're getting a lot of downloads. But at the same time, what we are not directly aware of is that this is also vice versa. There is an upload as well. And if anything, we would be truly wise right now to use our upload, what we push into the cosmos, into the very, very wisely. Ask and it's given. Now is the moment to ask and desire and want. But that which is impossible in nature, for example, peace. If you think about it in a very analytic way, is it really possible now? No problem. Desiring it, insisting on it in spirit, creates a magnetism. Heaven, the sky, the stars themselves have no choice but to express themselves in a path of no least resistance. So the more we desire that in the benevolent type of impossible, the more we give it power. Well, however, in the small measure that it exists in the world, it becomes stronger. But we are right now the genies of our own lives. What we desire is what starts coming towards us, but we need to desire it from, and this may sound a bit, pure value. So humanly wishing something that is zero, if anything, minus. Rather just be empty than trick yourself into thinking that mental impulses are powerful. No, no, no. It has to come so deeply from within you that, I don't know, that there's no doubt in your being that it comes from deeper than your mind can go. The feeling is that powerful. When we achieve this state of desire, then we know that it's already seeking us out. So if we really want to, the Ace of Swords, right? To take the sword and cut out all the weed from the garden, our garden, to cut out everything that we don't want there, even like sort of surgeon, right? Connections, ideals, misaligned beliefs. This is a really, really good time. But at the same time, the sword. What are we gonna fight for? Where the fight now is not with weapons. It is just with thought. And what, how should I say, motivates the thought? Where does the thought's very existence source from? Does it source from a deep well of benevolence, like the universe's very desire to exist? Or if it sources from ego, well, yeah, that's maybe not the kind of wishes that we shouldn't be asking for. And the sun reversed is exactly that. If we would be truly wise, we would use the power of compassion, sun reversed. This is where the star shines inwards. Yes, it will detonate. So it is almost like allowing our egos to implode on its themselves in en masse, of course, but that would mean a guaranteed rebirth where all we need to do is the only thing we need to do is drop all our judgments, our dogmas, just have the courage to be debt free, and the next day, the next morning we wake up, it's a new us, really, an us out of the shackles, which needs the trust that it won't up, right? That's the hard part here. But would we find that trust within ourselves that without shackles, without the Saturn's flail and whip on our backs, right? That we are worthy of trust even without that. Why? Because the ego now, after it imploded, it is like a pulsar. It is quantum. It doesn't need that old-fashioned type of light. It spins faster than existence itself. It is all divine now, right? It doesn't need the warm physical light. It doesn't burn and shine for the cosmos any longer, only for the creator. So and that's not so hard to accomplish. We just need to allow love to flood in our being, right? And the Mother of Pentacles reverse is exactly that. What does not want to grow in our lives, no matter how much we insist and nurture it. And is it a love story, a relationship, a dream, a hobby, a passion, what you falsely thought was a source of happiness? If it doesn't grow, let it go now. This is a good moment. And don't be afraid of the zero, right? The Fool, Wheel of Fortune, and the Six of Wands. Allow your heart to make the wish, Jupiter. Allow your heart to dominate your mind and your value system. Dare to go, dare to be infinitely honest with yourself. And if that person who you find yourself to be will make the purest wish, this is when it's almost guaranteed that the sky and earth alike will react to it and they will deliver something because things are getting quantum. I'm not sure where I heard this from or read it or something like that, that dimensions, realities, timelines are collapsing into one another. Yeah, I have to agree. That's a very good depiction of what is kind of happening right now. So remember, that also opens our access to infinity much more than any other. Remember the past great conjunctions of the 200 years in Earth. That is not permissive. That means in the detriment of the earthly rules. Air is different. Air is different in the sense that it it cannot be contained really. It's shapeless, formless, still so very powerful. The plasma in the heart of stars is, in a way, air, right? It burns. So we must be just like the stars themselves. The more purity we add to our soul's burn, we attract what we need to attract. And if we aspire for peace and to be on the other side of the world transformation cycle already, then that's how we push the warp button. We go there quicker and quicker. So we must desire peace because, the cradle, and this is why Mars stays in Cancer, mostly Leo Cancer, for so long, is because the cradle needs to be permissive of growth and the frequency to be reached. If it's full of conflict and the not so nice things, then the nappy must be changed. That must be taken care of first. But it cannot be taken care of through hypocrisy. It has to be real. So yeah. So the best thing we can do is truly wish healing for the world. Is truly to bring the source of all creation into the physical reality through our being, whatever brings us that divine elation, music, meditation, whatever it is that you do. It's almost like a duty right now to be like a bee. Jupiter in Gemini. Gemini is always bees. Why? Because they cross-pollinate. That's the role of Gemini. So like a bee, we must produce the honey. We must sweeten reality up a bit. Otherwise, it will start regurgitating itself, if you know what I mean. So this is when we're really not alone. We are our ancestors. We are all our incarnations, because this is a big leap moment in timelines and this is much bigger than we can ever realize on the cosmic scale. So this is why we need to make our own choices, and no one and nothing can make it for us. So thank you everyone for listening, and I am wishing you very happy celebrations, and let us be really, really generous with our prayers and our love energy for those who were basically, how should I even word this? Robbed from their lives and life stories and their fates. So let us extend soul nurture and our own light to every soul out there who was a victim to all of what is going on, and of course including to our own ancestors and our own and everyone dear who we really honored in life, because be very certain that it's mutual, that the gesture is mutual. What you do is what will meet you at the other side of the mirror, because that's all reality is. So thank you everyone, and wishing you again happy celebration. Until next time, bye for now.